Have you ever been criticised at some point in your life? Of course you have. While living in today's modern society, we cannot escape from being criticised. This is part one of how to handle criticism. Stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Richard Rozza with the Personal Development Channel. This is part one of how to handle criticism. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and let's get to it. Today, in part one, I'll be giving you an insight into why I've decided to share this with you, followed by identifying types of criticism you will face in some kind or another. I believe all of us have been criticised at some point in our lives. While living in today's modern society, we cannot escape from being criticised. But before debating about criticism and techniques and how to handle it, allow me to walk you through a short story about criticism and how I learned a little lesson from it in my life. A long time ago, in a land of... Only joking. A few years ago, when I was at school, which was quite a long time ago, to be fair, I was in an art class. We were given a project to do some painting, so I needed to come up with something I was going to paint. After some hunting around and I got a bit of inspiration, I decided to paint a pair of shoes. Yes, I know it's not very inspiring or very exciting, but that's what I decided. I was quite young. I took the effort of collecting and setting up all my brushes, my colours and my canvas. I started to pour colours on my canvas. I invested my whole lesson in that painting as I wanted to finish that piece in a single sitting. I was sketching with all my heart and soul, and while I was painting, I felt like a professional who was busy creating this perfect masterpiece. And I was appreciating myself for painting it. I knew it wasn't going to be something fantastic, but at the same time, I was quite excited and I thought I'd done a good job. By the end of the lesson, I was ready with my masterpiece. So proud of myself and feeling like I've done the best job ever. So after finalising the painting, I was so eager to show it off. I did with one of my close friends on the way back from school. So I was telling her with all this enthusiasm what I'd painted today and showed her. Then I paused, started to look at her, and I was so anxious because I just didn't know what her comments were going to be. I didn't even think for a second she would criticise it because I thought it was so amazing and because she was my friend. And she basically said, "This is shit." So in short, I'm not going to go into exactly everything. And I kind of thought it was a jokey thing as a mate, but it wasn't. My blood started to boil. I got really angry. I forgot about the painting completely. Started to hate her for this rude comment. I didn't even try to explain, to understand, or talk anymore with her. Instead, I just started to judge her and thought about her flaws, her failures, and so I started giving her a load of shit back. She ran off. She was gone for quite a while. I was so proud of myself, though, for clapping back at her, but this happiness was so temporary when I look back now. And actually, reflecting on it, my behaviour was so bad. I really felt sorry for her, and this was my mate. So, you know, I reacted based on this kind of feedback, that actually this feedback was, she was just saying something, I took it in the wrong way. Does it give me the right as a person to react in that kind of way, especially when it was a friend anyway? I went way off the rails, and off the back of that, it kind of made me realise that actually I need to change a few things about the way I am, my behaviour, and the way that you kind of take on feedback from people. So that was an early lesson in life. That's an example of when I was at school. Like I said, it was quite a long time ago. But actually, I mean, this happens on a day-to-day basis. I see it so many times with people, especially in the working environment, people that can't take feedback. And look, it's okay. You just need to be in a position where you actually understand that you can't take feedback, or you can, but not very well. And you need to start learning how to put yourself in a position where you can start learning better. Let's talk about two core types of criticism. You can actually subdivide criticism into lots of different areas, like logical, aesthetics, positives, factual, and so on. But I'm going to keep this really simple Basically, the ground on which criticism is mainly divided is these are two major types of criticism: constructive and destructive. So these are the two that we're going to look at today. And then we'll explain in part 2 how you can overcome these. The word constructive means helping to improve, promoting further development and enhancement or advancement. The meaning of the word constructive makes it obvious that constructive criticism means criticism that is designed to be beneficial and is based on valid facts, observations, and ideas. The main purpose of constructive criticism is to help a person or group grow and become stronger. People who are sincere with you try to offer you constructive criticism when they see something something that needs improving. So in this type of criticism, critiques will not only criticize you for good, but also educate you with the techniques that you can use and you can apply for improvement. Now, constructive criticism should also be considered a blessing, and you should always be thankful to the person who's trying to improve your flaws by presenting their opinion in a loving and integrative way. Now, let's look at quickly destructive criticism. The word itself, destructive, means causing irreparable damage or inclined to discredit or disapprove. So the definition of destructive criticism can be criticism which tends to harm you by conveying deliberately malicious comments. So this type of criticism reflects the thoughtlessness of the critic. Unlike constructive criticism, destructive criticism focuses on people, not their actions. The main aim of the critic when introducing destructive criticism is to embarrass you and shatter your self-esteem. It is primarily concerned with complaining and bashing the other side as much as possible. This type of criticism has nothing to do with improvements. A negative critique will not tell you that any ways that they can boost your development. They just want to criticize everywhere and anywhere to aid their egos. In short, destructive criticism is something that people give people when they're in fear themselves. As we have already discussed the two main types of criticism and got to a point, I think, that these two are complete opposites to each other, I think you'd agree, they have different intentions. So in order to handle criticism and its two types, it is essential to understand and identify the type of criticism you are receiving in the moment. No matter how good your strategy is to handle a criticism, if you are unaware of the type you are facing, your strategy will flop. So it's crucial to judge the type of criticism first and then apply your technique to handle these two different types of criticism in two different ways. First of all, it is important to read the mind of the critic. And I don't mean literally. Unless you can read minds, then fair play to you. If you know how to read the intention of a critic, you will eventually know the intention of criticism you are going to be handling. Secondly, observe the words a critic is using to criticize you. If the phrases a critic is choosing for criticizing you are humiliating and they are upsetting you, then the intention of the critic could be to let you down. On the other hand, the words with which you are being criticized doesn't make you feel miserable about yourself. Then the intentions of the judger can be positive. Now, the third thing we can use to judge the intentions of a critique is to observe if he or she is consistently making us feel bad about ourselves. If they are criticizing you harshly in everything you do and never praise you, or if you feel like you are being personally attacked, then again, it could be they haven't mastered the best way to deliver feedback, or they are just assholes. One or the other. Constructive criticism should never make you feel bad about yourself as a whole. Yeah, it can make you feel bad about a certain action or behavior, but it should never make you feel bad. That's it for part 1, guys. In part 2, I'm going to share with you 8 real-life tools you can use to support taking criticism, and I'll even give you a juicy little challenge. Today's been really about just understanding the subject and why I chose to do it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and if you enjoyed the content given today, then give a little like. If you think this could help somebody else that you know, then please share. And finally, come and join our community on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, And if you'd like to know a little bit more about me, then you can go over to our website, www.rozzamindset.com. All the links are in the description below. That's been me, Richard Rozza. Stay safe and keep active.